What up? What's going on, guys? 1 second here before we go like live. Why does the video look so horrible? This is crazy. It's like it's smudged, I think. Or maybe it's this light. Is it this light? Yeah, let me turn on my main lights. It doesn't look very good. All right, is that better? Look at that melon. I know. I like this light though. I just feel like it looks so shitty with that light. What up, guys? I feel like I could see all this pretty good without my glasses. I haven't gone live on here in a while, so this is gonna take a minute. I know, it looks like the lens is smudged, but it's not. It's perfectly clean. I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing more than me. So this should be pretty good. Good enough. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. When I like tested it, it looked perfect. Now when I'm doing it, it looks okay now. If it's, yeah, I think it's this lens over here or something. Something's not feeling it, but I like this thing because I could go. But maybe I won't use it this time around if it's messing everything up. I will put this thing off to the side. So that's my oldness getting in here. But yeah, I don't think I had one of those things. Look at this. Boom, see? I have one of these. I could try and clean the lens. Is that any better? Actually, maybe that is better. Maybe it was smudged. Thought I cleaned it. Oh shit, was that really loud? My bad. Looks way better. That's good. So what's going on, guys? Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been busy working here as normal. Why isn't this thing going? I'm pretty good. How are you guys? I know I totally have been a freaking stranger, haven't I? I haven't been posting like I used to. I used to post so much, but yeah, I need to just get back on it. I have enough people telling me I need to get back on it, and I really do. But yeah, so I am building, I'll get right into this. Basically another one of these. So before this whole like coronavirus thing and all that stuff was going on, we were doing plenty of production work and everything. And for some reason, every time I brought out like one of my like regular freestyle rigs, like even this one's perfectly good. Like something always gets broken. It got smashed under here on this one. Something always came up to where I'm like, man, like these are my good like freestyle rigs that I do bash them when I'm flying, but like when you fly freestyle, usually like you just learn to like have more of like a controlled crash, to where when you're filming, it's just you don't know what's gonna happen. I've had one get ran over by a car on accident before. I've had some stuff just randomly get in my way that wasn't supposed to be over there, and that came into like the path of the drone, stuff like that. Things happen, and I just am tired of ruining my perfectly good freestyle rigs, to where I was like, I'm gonna build just some production rigs and use it just for production, and use a good frame at a really good value. So I was gonna make them from these. These are the Source ones. So yeah, Source One frame. I built this one. It went together fairly well. Wasn't bad. Only thing is, I got everything in this package. Got it over from TBS. This is the newest version. I know there's a couple versions of these Source ones too, but this one's pretty updated. The only thing is I'm not using these 5-inch arms. I had some cut by, I can't even remember his name now. So these are like the 7-inch arms I got too. I was thinking of making something big, but when I put it together, it was really big. I got these. Cut me a couple sets, but these are 6-inch arms because I run 6-inch props, and so I think they look pretty good. This is one built with the 6-inch arms on it, and it actually looks pretty decent. So yeah, like the gap and everything, like if you check it out on the props and stuff like that, everything looks pretty good. This one's exactly the same build of all the same electronics I'm using on this one is the same thing I'm going to build on this one that I'm doing right now. It usually takes me a really long time to build everything because I just don't really like building. I know some of you guys love building stuff, but I don't know. I really don't. I'm using a Hobbywing. This is a 60 amp 4-in-1. Usually when I fly all my freestyle rigs, this is a KISS setup. So this is a KISS V2 with a KISS 4-in-1. And for these, I am using just a different setup. I wanted to use a Betaflight setup because I'm also going to be running like GPS and everything on here. So let's get this stuff out. I'm just going to lay everything out when I get on here. Dang, who was that? I missed. Oh, wait. Where's my chat? Snippet FPV. Thank you. Top chat. Blah, 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 blah. Cancel. There it is. There's my chat. My chat disappeared for a second there. All right. So, let me get all these out. Okay. If you know me, I get very picky on certain things, and I'm probably gonna complain, but Hobbywing, I like your packaging, but dude, it is a pain in the ass to get these boards out of these things. Like, there's a tab to get my finger in there. I feel like I'm gonna break the board when I take it out of here. You have to like, be very careful taking it out. I don't know why. I don't like this packaging. I feel like I'm like gonna flex the board in half. See, yeah, even like this little cap that's on here, I bent it. Okay, so Hobbywing 60 amp. This is the Radix flight controller from Brain FPV. I'm gonna be using this guy right here. I'll just throw all this stuff down here. Comes with like a couple connectors, some of the little like jelly pads to put on for the spacers. And yeah, so that's gonna be like my power setup here. I don't usually use the XT60s and stuff that come with this. I usually solder up my own. I'm sure these are good. No personal preference. If you are gonna use these, just make sure that it's soldered up well inside here. I don't even know how you could take these off. I never use these ones with the new cap. This is the one that has that cap on the bottom. I prefer them just to be like this. See how I solder this one up? I like it like that. But yeah, I probably won't use this. That's trash. And then, okay, controlling stuff that we're still going through. I am also going to be using the TBS Crossfire Diversity for these. Why, you might ask? Because if you could have diversity so small, why not? I've been running it like quite a bit. Like I have it on this one I built. I ran Immortal T in the back of this one, and on this one, I didn't have one of those antennas, but you can see I ran like 2 Immortal T's off the back, which when I did this, now you're saying like, okay, you're running 2 Immortal T's, but I changed the polarization of the antennas. So like these two are the opposite polarization of the antennas, and these two are the opposite. So it was actually working quite well. I was actually very surprised on how well that was working. But when you get this, you get this little guy, which always boggles my mind how small it is. Those bikes are like a badass NSC McQueen or what else. Thanks, man. Yeah, those are like all bikes that I've built in recent time that I've had up for sale, but so many lowballers right now because everybody thinks that everybody's really desperate for money right now and that they don't want to pay what it is worth, the time you put into those things. So yeah, this Diversity usually comes with these 2 antennas. These are just your standard antennas right here. And see how there's usually like, when we make a Immortal L, we'll use one of them, the little like one that has the exposed wire or whatever you want to call this on the bottom, this one on the top. When I did that other one that had both of them, I just flipped it. So basically it was like more or less like this. So yeah, it worked pretty good. But I'm not going to be using both of these. I have this extended, what do they call these? Immortal T's, right? Yeah. I have an Immortal T, and I'm going to be running this towards the front of the quad and just one of these off the back. It was a little bit more of a cleaner setup that way. All right, so that is also going to be part of my electronics that I'm putting in here. And the last thing is this guy. I'm always really stoked on this. This is the TBS Unify Evo. Ever since this came out, this is all I've been running. I really like it. Super good. But yeah, somebody asked just a minute ago, I saw it, they were asking what is my favorite quad. I really like running my original Cougar frame still. I have everything. I've been working with Ryan. I don't know if you know him. He like helps Tommy build all of his rigs and designs and everything. That's where they like cut all the carbon, all that stuff. I've been working with him on my V2 frame for a while, and we were about to get everything done, but since this stuff the crazy stuff's been going on, I haven't really hit him up to go there and cut prototypes and do everything. But yeah, it's pretty much dialed in. It's very similar to that frame, just with like some other tweaks. But yeah, so Unify Evo. I really like this. It gives me OSD, all the things I need. It's just very simple. When I first started flying, I would use a PNP 50, and you would just basically decase it, get everything soldered up on that one, and it would just give you the very, very basic layouts of like amp draw, like your voltage of the battery, stuff like that. Just very simple things that you need to know. But now this Unify Evo pretty much is very simple also, and it gives you all the information you know as well. Even though I know this guy does. This has a really nice graphical OSD on it. I'll probably disable it, not use it. I might use it, just, I don't know. I could do GPS. I'm also putting the GPS little puck. This is the TBS one. So, but yeah. Question here, what soldering iron do I use? I use a Hakko. It's one of these guys. You might have seen him. I forget what model is this, FX888D. I've been using it for a very long time. Super reliable. Never had an issue with it. But yeah, I think that's all that my electronics that I need. Camera is not really an electronic component, but you do need it to see, I guess, so we'll pull this out. This is just one of them I picked. It's actually very nice. The Foxeer Razor Mini. And if you're asking like why I'm not using the Ethics ones, I ordered these before the Ethics ones came out, so I want to use them until I destroy it somehow. But yeah, I just don't want to waste product in a sense. But I had all this stuff already ordered, and it's just sitting here. Like I said, I don't do well with building quads. It takes me a while. If you want to know, this has probably been, I don't know how many months this has been sitting here. But yeah, it's a very nice little camera, and the image from it is also very good. It's a 2.1. Oh yeah, that's the thing too. It's a 2.1 millimeter lens. I forgot, I got the lens I want on this thing somewhere because I don't use that lens. It's, I think it's in here, yeah. So this is what's on the FX camera. I prefer this lens. This is the RC25G. This is the RunCam lens. So this is basically gonna be a Frankenstein camera lens because I'm using a Foxeer camera with a RunCam lens on this one. But the 2.5 millimeter lens from this guy, I like a lot more than this guy here. Also, I'm not 100% sure, but I wanna say that the retaining ring on here, it looks plastic. I don't like that. I like the metal rings. So that's a replacement also. Just putting a metal ring on there for any adjustment that you might need to have. And yeah, that's about it. So let's get into starting the assembly of this quad. Let me check questions real quick. Sorry, my finger's in the way. Before you get done today, Eric, can you share your KISS V2 PIDs for the K2 props? I know it's off topic. That's not really off topic. Everything's on topic here. We could talk about everything. But let's see. Hey, someone's knocking at my door. Hold on real quick. Got a package real quick. Let's see what's in here. This thing was like airtight. What the hell is in here? Oh, it's not for me. It is, but not really. Okay. So let's get into building this thing. We're not gonna need these. No, there's more arms in this. I'm gonna put these arms aside. KISS V2 PIDs. I'm not forgetting anything you guys said. What do I run on my PIDs? Top of my head, I don't know. I'll have to plug it in and check. Maybe I could do that before I end this. If it's not too much of a pain. If not, you could always just hit me up on Instagram and I could just send you a screen cap of my PIDs. I know hardware, I had some issues with hardware when doing this, so I will show you the new hardware that I'm using. Get this top plate out. Someone was asking why I prefer a 6-inch, oh my gosh, this one's stuck in there. A 6-inch over a 5-inch mini quad. And I mean, 5-inch is so popular in FPV that I was like, dude, the only way I could be a little bit different is if I fly 6-inch. No, I'm just kidding. That's not why. When I first flew a 6-inch quad, it was with Tommy, and I just liked the way it felt. Punch out was like, it was dope. I could come in like from really steep dives and it just was like, whoo, like it grabs the air very, very well. I really like how it just handles. It's kind of drifty in a sense, which I think like doing a lot of chase footage and everything and all this kind of stuff that I do, it's nice to kind of just like have that like buttery feeling, like drifty footage in there, it kind of makes things seem a little bit more stable. Kind of similar, like you notice if you're flying like an Inspire or like a Mavic Pro or something like that, you know, you get a Mavic Pro and it's kind of twitchy, and like it's still smooth and everything, obviously, because it's, you know, the way it just functions. It's not ever going to be like one of these, but and then, you know, you fly an Inspire, and Inspire doesn't have that twitchy feel, but it's very more fluid because of the bigger props, the size, the weight, everything. And I feel like that's the thing, is once you get very comfortable flying 6-inch, you find out like it's very smooth, it's very fast. You could climb things really easily. You could catch up to like things very quickly as well. And I just really like the feel of it. I like the sound of it also. It reminds me more of like a big motor, like, you know, little grunt to it, especially on the bi-blades. Everybody keeps asking me also why I switched to bi-blades. Bi-blades is like what we originally were flying. Bi-blades are awesome, especially for 6-inch. And the thing is, everybody switched to tri-blades, and tri-blades were good, but they also brought in just a ton of vibration, and they were a little bit more amp hungry and things, to where with a 6-inch, you know, I want to keep the amps down but still have a lot of that power, and the 6-inch blade gives me more power than I need anyways, considering the weight setup and everything, and considering like to a 5-inch quad. So yeah, finally, after a long time working with Zong over at HQ, we got a nice 6-inch prop that's dialed in. I feel like once I get things dialed in, I don't even want to make another version of something or whatever. I just want to keep running it as long as possible. So it's not like I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome, and then like next thing I know, I'm like, no, this is awesome. These are good. I have no complaints over this prop whatsoever. I know a lot of you guys have flown these props also, and like that, the vibrations aren't really, there's really none unless there's something else going on with your quad, and easy to tune, good efficiency, everything. So yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, drifting into shots is nice. Okay, let's see, how did I build this thing? I'm telling you, I'm super bad at building this stuff. I should be good. I did put these on the bottom. So these Source Ones come with one full bottom plate, unlike how, say, this one is, and I have like a bottom plate and I have this little squish plate here. Their squish plate and everything is just, it's kind of different. Like their bottom plate is like part of a squish plate also. I kind of like it, but I'll tell you in a minute why I kind of don't like it a little bit also. And this is where I came into the problem also with the stack, was I needed to get longer screws than what is available in the kit, because I didn't want to use the plastic standoffs. I want to use the metal little standoffs that I got from Pyrodrone, and I'll show you guys those when we get to them. And I needed a longer screw. So if you see, I'm using like the 2 stock screws on the outside and these in the center. Another thing I don't like about these, for now, I'm gonna use them, is that they're aluminum, and aluminum on just these parts isn't good. It could break. So there's parts of these FPV DIY quads that over time of flying, and even if you just fly like pretty aggressive to begin with, there are weak points to all these things, and I'll go over that. And one of them is you always want to have strong bolts, and I feel like the fact that these are so long, there's a lot of weak area going through all of it, so that's never good. You have to think it's covering all this space. It could break basically if I have like a decent enough crash. So that's one thing I don't like about it, but yeah, other than that, it's pretty cool. We're just gonna start assembling the arms and some things like this, and I will keep an eye out for any messages you guys have coming through right now. And I'll just keep talking to you guys about things I like and don't like in my builds. Because like I said, I just get picky with certain things. I think we all do once we start building these things. And that's just how it works. Okay, I forgot. I don't like these screws either. I have screws I've gotten for this. I think they're over here. Yeah, I think they're these. What up, man? What's going on? How's you doing? Okay, so here's another thing. Hey, Source One build? Yeah, we're doing Source One today. Is button head screws. These are not good to use. You want to use like a good cap screw or something. Mainly because we're landing on the belly of these things, we're crashing all the time, and this thing will get ground down or something at some point, and you cannot get these off. They'll strip. They're easier to strip, to where a cap screw is always a lot better. Let me check my messages right here. Oh, dude, I totally forgot motors. Just because they're in front of me. I'm using my 1739 6S moon boot motors. So that's what's gonna be the little like motor power plant to these. Same thing with these. I should probably be like thinking of a V2. I'd probably just change the bell design a little bit, but these are solid. These have been such good motors. You know what else I'm forgetting? My toolkit. Can't build this thing without tools. I was using it earlier, working on a 3D printer upgrade, and I left it in the room. Choose one brand of prop, HQ. That is the brand that I've just chose forever already. Song just makes really good props. I think this is the right screw. I hope it is. I have so many screws and hardware and everything over here that I never remember if it's the right one or not. I don't know if you guys could hear my neighbor's TV going on. He's listening to like some old sitcom, and I feel like I know what it is from listening to it, but I can't hear it good enough. It's easy to screw up. Okay, this is not the right screw, but I'll use it as like a starter screw here. I have the right screws somewhere. They gotta be around here. I like all these trays. So much stuff. I need to do like a drone yard sale stuff. These are probably the right screws. Yeah, I have so much stuff around here. Sorry, I had to show you guys my guns in my video. That buffness, you know. Yeah, these are the right ones. That is correct. I'm not even sure how long I'm gonna make this video. I might come back for part 2. I don't want to bore you guys too much with just me building a quad. All right, let me sift through these other questions here. How come you aren't using the Cougar? Yeah, I mentioned that before. I'm not using it because these are just for production builds that I'm doing right now, and so every time I'd use my good setups with the Cougar frame, they would always get jacked up. I'd always have somebody ruining my rig at some point. So this is a way to use a really good cheap frame and not worry about when something breaks on it. I'm not gonna be pissed if somebody runs over it, smashes it with their car, or does something that I don't want to happen to those. So that's why I'm using the Source One, primarily. But yeah, this is a good build, like, or frame, should I say, to build. It builds pretty easily. Yeah, sacrificial lamb for sure. See, I don't like these aluminum ones. It's like you keep tightening it, and you're like, when's it gonna strip to get tight? And the thing is you. So this is a problem I don't like with this frame. Actually, this is the only thing I don't like. Is that it just has these two bolts holding these arms together, and I feel they don't meet in the center, and there's like no little wedge or anything on there. It just comes loose sometimes. I think this one's kind of loose. No, I tightened it good enough. But they get movement, and you have to constantly be checking them and tightening them for the movement. And yeah, it just, I don't like it. If you're gonna ask too, because I just made that thing about button head and cap screws. Yeah, this one is a cap screw. This that one down there that I just did. The thing is though, this one's a button head that's next to it. It shouldn't mess it up just because it's gonna hit the button head one first. But yeah, I don't like these cap screws. It's aluminum. It's also easier to strip it because it's aluminum. Like this one I could crank down hard because it's steel. This one I can't. Other issue is if you're getting moisture or anything, if you're in a moist environment, sometimes these steel screws, after they go into the threads, they can kind of get tight and rust up in there a little bit. So it's always good to kind of like loosen them and retighten them if you're flying anywhere where moisture could have gotten on there, and because it's gonna suck to get them off. Okay, let's keep putting these guys on. I feel like I have another thing of screws somewhere that I need to find. It's a problem when you have a shop full of like stuff. I have it pretty organized. My wife got me these like organizing bins. I have everything pretty much dialed in, but yeah, just because it's organized doesn't mean I don't have like a lot of the same thing. Oh, Shiza Manili. That's where that cable is. I'm looking for that one. Dude, what is he listening to over there? Can you guys hear that? I think that's just like the radio now. He went from a TV show to the radio. Can cut a piece of aluminum at your shop and use it as a wedge for the arms? Got Loctite? Yeah, I got plenty of Loctite, but see, I don't like using the Loctite either. Not on this stuff. Loctite's good on the motor screws, but I wouldn't use it on the frame screws. Is the tiny screen Mr. Steele has on his radio for sale? Yeah, we got it. That thing's been needing to come out forever. I think the first time we showed it was like 3 years ago. I had it on my radio at his house, and we were putting one on his, and we were like gonna come out with one, and it just finally, we came out with a version of it, but it's not even the version we really wanted initially to put out, but it's got everything that we want now. It's pretty decent. But yeah, if you go on the TBS site, it's under the ethics category, or you could go on the ethics site, and it'll redirect you to the TBS site under that category as well. I don't know what distributors have picked it up yet. Usually we have distributors pick everything up at some point, but yeah, I don't know which ones grabbed it yet. See, now you can see why it takes me forever to build these things, because I'm like, nope, it's got to be very specific. I want this screw to come through this thing at exactly the right height. All right, so, see, I could really crank down on this one. Why don't you fly 3D freestyle? Because 3D freestyle just doesn't do it for me. I don't think my brain will work that way. It probably will, but I don't know. I don't think it looks that good in video too much either, because it's always got a lot of shakes from when like it's going the opposite direction, because the props have to go the opposite way and everything. I don't know. Now I do like 3D cameras. No, not 3D, 360 cameras. Sorry, on mini quads. I love that. That's like one of my favorite things to fly now is a 360 cam. These bolts take so long to put through, or screws. I guess these aren't really bolts. Geez, big messages. Those go by so fast. I need to build the same way. My frame hardware is usually always sourced during the building process, and I end up using aluminum where I can to steel the build. Yeah. Just I don't know. Get adamant about the right hardware to use, and if you go through this too and build everything correctly, it helps so much on tuning your quad and any little like issues you might come up with. A lot of it comes down to how you built it, how it's soldered up, how you ran your cables. A lot of those things will actually save you in issues that you might have later on. The build mats. I'm using one of the build mats right now, bro. This is a Home Depot special. You know, I'd rather use one of these big mats here, because when you drop screws, whatever, it collects everything. It's way better than just doing stuff on a table. Even if you use like a doormat. Jeez, I hate these. That's as tight as I could get without stripping the aluminum. Yeah, doormats work really good though. Like, you know, the ones you clean your shoes at when you walk in a door. Those work really good for grabbing screws and things that fall. If you're building something, it's always good to have one of those. I haven't tried any of the FetTech stuff. The 360 cams do have stabilization, and it's really, really good from Insta360. Their flow state stabilization, I use that on the Insta360 One X, and it's super good. I have the other one coming my way from them, the R, and I know that uses that stabilization too, and I'm really excited to be using that pretty soon here. Yeah, their stabilization is like hand in hand with the GoPro Hero 8 one. It's really good. So what up from France? How's everybody doing in France? Pretty good. Is everybody doing good in general? How about that? So much crazy stuff's going on right now. I just hope everyone's doing all right. There's like so much gnarly things of this whole whatever virus and all this stuff and everything, like not even just on like the fact of getting it or anything like that, just the mentality of like everything that could just be fucked up in your head, worrying about getting it, worried about family getting it, losing your job because of it, all kinds of things. Like it's so messed up that hopefully everybody's just chilling out and getting by as best they can and not having to stress too much, because I think the mental and the stress and all that stuff, that whole side of it is worse than actually like having to deal with a freaking virus. Like, I mean, nobody wants to get sick, but nobody wants to be fucked up in the head either, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that sometimes worries me a little bit more for everybody. Just one day at a time. Okay. We finally have something that looks like a frame that we might want to fly. You can see the screws I use, they pop through a little bit, but they're like almost perfectly flush. I want them to come out just a little bit anyways. That way I know it's pulling these spacers down into the frame. Same with this one. Like I feel like I could tighten those down more. I don't have to worry about these arms moving as much. If you look at how I set up this Cougar frame, it has 2 bolts also. One in the center, one towards the outside. But the thing is, I have one also in the middle, and that middle one, the middle one locks it in like from the arms moving too much, but the arms also meet in the middle too. So there's not any movement or anything. So it's a lot better than kind of how this is set up. But if you have this tight enough, it should be okay. Another PID question, I think. What do these people say? Essential worker, working the whole time, fixing customer cars. Oh, awesome. Good for you. Okay, dealt with the virus for the best, so everyone is here. Yeah, as long as you stay good mentally and everything, everyone's still around, everyone's happy, life's gonna go on. Just a new normal. Why does it keep disappearing? I'm using the KISS FC and the Hobbywing 2300, 1700, and 6S PIDs, and I have a high D. What are your PIDs like on your 6S? My D's a little bit higher. I feel like all the firmware and everything runs a little bit higher these days, actually. It's not like it used to be where you wanted like really, really low D. You could put your D up these days. You get on that D, my dude. Get with it. Get with that D. Okay. Messages, potential spam, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how I get these. I think I got it. The messages are staying on there. Okay, they're staying on there a little bit longer. Sorry, I was missing all your guys' messages because they just like disappear right away, and it's hard to catch all of them. Do I chamfer anything? Nah. Everything that gets chamfered. Everywhere where it should be gets that way from me flying and skidding on the ground. So the ground does it for me. Someone asked about what soldering iron I use. I'll say it again. It's the Hakko FX888D. All right, so I got these plates. That's gonna be for my camera. Let's get the camera over here. How did I set it up last time? I think I used a different screw also. There was something I didn't like about the camera setup, and I used a different screw, I believe. We'll see. It's always something, I'm telling you. I get so picky about everything. Now, I'm using this adapter for the camera. As you can see, it's the little plastic adapter that goes on there. We came up with like this like rubber style one for the Ethics camera, and I like that one better. It just gives a little bit of friction. It's not as like hard mounted, and I don't know, it's almost like a little dampening mount for your camera, and it seems to be pretty good. Let's see what screws we got in here. It's gonna be my screw pile, big messy screw pile. some Gomer Pyle. Questions? Did I miss anybody? By the way, I'm the one that sent you the Crazy Brazilian film team. Ha ha ha. You guys talk to the pod. Oh yeah, you're the guy. They weren't crazy. They just had like couldn't make up their mind on what they wanted to do. I don't even know who took that job. Someone had to have taken that job. And someone had to have taken that job for cheap. Because it wasn't a job I don't think anybody really wants to do for not that much. And someone took it. Is the tune of the Source one pretty close to the tune of the Cougar? Yeah. In relation to, I guess, Kiss, it wasn't too far off. The issue with this one is I haven't used Betaflight in so long, and the tune felt like good, but if I gave it really like high throttle right away, it wanted to freak out on me a little bit, and it was because of the filtering. And I didn't know anything about all these new filters and everything that Betaflight has, because the Kiss software doesn't have any of that. It just kind of works. And I had to call up Tommy, because Tommy, he just runs everything and knows all that stuff. And yeah, he ended up helping me out with the filtering. And yeah, I'd say it's pretty close. Think someone did and it ended up crap and it was not used. Yeah, probably, because he probably was like, hey, I'll do it for like $100, dude. Whatever you want me to film for you. And they don't know what they're doing and it turns out like crap. And that's why I always say you get what you pay for. Okay. I'm trying to remember how I set this up. Did I really have it like that? Dang, this thing has so many screws just for a camera. It's crazy. Did I use the front one or the back one? You could tell I haven't built a lot of these Source ones yet, because usually all of mine I just do off of memory and it's like the same thing over and over. And this one's completely fresh for me and I don't know what I'm doing. No idea what I'm doing. Did I really have that angle on it? There was no way I had that. I do. Why does that seem like so much? That looks like it's more than 30 degrees of angle. Yeah, this is a Source 1. I think the lowest on here is 30 degrees. I typically like around 25-ish. Like 25-ish on the cam angle, because anywhere I put the HD cam, usually it's around like at the most maybe 35 degrees and at the least maybe like 20 degrees, so it's always in between there. And with the wider field of view, then it's always pretty dialed. But I feel like this is a little more. If you kind of look, it almost looks a little bit more like 30 is what I'm guessing. You haven't been around much on YouTube. Is that because you're doing more commercial work? Yes and no. Right now, I'm doing absolutely zero commercial work because of what's going on. I was doing a lot more commercial work, but yeah, I don't know. I've just been busy in general, and it takes so much time to film these things and edit them and everything, and I really miss doing all that and uploading constantly stuff for you guys. But yeah, it's just been so busy, and I gotta make sure I get all that work done because bills need to get paid and stuff like that. And this stuff doesn't, like all these videos and all this stuff, it doesn't pay bills. Like, I don't make any money doing any of this stuff, so it's hard sometimes to justify stopping your day to film stuff if it's not going to pay your bills. But when you're getting like jobs from it and stuff like that, then yeah, it's a little easier to justify it. it's a little easier to justify it to pay bills and stuff. But right now, yeah, there's no production stuff that I've gotten any calls for or anything. Wait a minute, did I do this backwards? Or is it supposed to be this? Wait, what's the top and what's the bottom? Damn it. I think I put this in backwards. Wait, no, I didn't. Oh wait, yeah, I did. I thought this was the logos on the top. They have 2 logos on each side of this camera. I thought it was only on one side. Well, good thing it's only 4 screws. But, yeah, it's just, don't make too much money doing this stuff. Honestly, it's like, the stuff I've been filming too is like, I've been doing a lot of stuff with the motocross dudes still. Been doing a lot with Robbie Madison, which has been cool. We've been kind of like filming and editing some of his videos and doing stuff over there. And yeah, we've been doing stuff with Ethics, like a lot of behind the scenes stuff happens over there. So we've been doing that, and that's about it. Like when I think about it, not much else has stopped me from making videos besides me just needing to get things done. So, but going live is a lot easier because I'm like, hey, I could build this. I need to finally get these rigs done, so I have them to use. Like I said, we're still filming stuff with like the FMX guys and things like that, and I like to have 2 of these instead of 1 of these ready to use right now. And yeah, I just need to stop procrastinating on it and get it done. This part's pretty simple here. After this, we'll get into soldering the ESC. All these are backwards now because I flipped them backwards. I've thought about actually doing more stuff on like just live streaming in general, maybe doing stuff on Mixer or Twitch, even stuff over here. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys like any of those platforms at all. The only reason I'm saying that is because if I move to one of those platforms, to be completely honest, I can make some revenue from it, and then I feel like it's a little bit more worth it for me to make some of these videos. What am I missing here? It justifies it a little bit better. Because it's like, if you want to watch it, then you could just subscribe to my channel or something. I didn't really like the thoughts of, what's the other one? Patreon? I don't really like Patreon too much, like how it's set up and everything. I'd rather just be like on, I like when I looked at different things, I liked how Twitch was, or Mixer or something, where it's like, if you just want to like basically same way you would donate to a Patreon, you could just subscribe to my channel for that X amount and then watch the videos that I put up on there. But yeah, 8S 6-inch setup, that sounds scary. No, I'd probably try it. I just don't have any 8S batteries or anything. I'm pretty dang sure these motors could handle 8S, even though they're rated for 6S. Okay, next thing we got here is the ESC. Now, I got this cool little tool from Steel. Check it out. It's a solder buddy. It's pretty cool. You could open this little guy up here. you can open this guy up and like you could put like stuff in between here and solder it up or whatever. I like to just open it up so it kind of just wedges in here and doesn't really move, and then I could solder up everything. So soldering iron's been on. What was that last one? How about you make a build and people donate and one person who donated wins the quad? I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, considering the time it takes to build it and the cost of parts and everything. What if I only get like 4 donations? Then it's not really gonna be, I'm losing money out of it. Great idea though. I get where you're going with it. I should probably use my fume extractor thing. So I'm just tinning these pads right now for wire. That's all I'm doing. Just tinning them up. We're just doing some prep work here. And if you ask me what kind of solder I use, I have no idea. Smell you later, Ruben. You're something something. Just being I get in the podcast for Get Along that coming up in you. We're thinking of doing a podcast pretty soon, but we've been playing a lot of Warzone, like Call of Duty Warzone, and we were thinking of just like doing one where we're podcasting while we're playing Call of Duty. We just thought that would be kind of fun. So, we're all tinned up now. I used to clean up all the solder pads with alcohol to get all the resin or rosin or whatever however you want to say it, tomato, to get all that off. I just don't anymore. I feel like it's just a waste of time, and I'd rather just build, get it done with, and that's about it. Let's see, motors now. Motors. Yeah, same thing with motors. I don't like using the button head screws that come with it. Some people do. I just don't. Some people like all this stuff. Some people like titanium screws. Some people like aluminum or whatever. I tend not to like those as much. Steel, baby. I like the steel ones. I don't need that motor. That's my spare. I need to get more motors. I don't have very many motors left. Yeah, but speaking of going to other platforms for revenue and stuff, the people that have donated to me so far on this, that's awesome. I could literally see, like, I got $9.90, and that is legit. That's awesome. Thank you. That's gas money right there. I'm running 6-inch arms. I had a guy, I cannot for the life of me remember his name. He has a website. Trappy sent me to his website. It was down, but I hit him up on Facebook Messenger. He cut me the 6-inch arms. They're really good looking arms. Different carbon than what comes with the Source One kit. I don't really care, especially on these frames. So it doesn't really match too well, but they're good quality, really good quality arms, good quality carbon. Okay, next step. I need the little standoffs. Any more brain busters? Feels so awkward too. I haven't gone live or done videos or anything in a minute, so I feel like this is all kind of awkward. Awkward. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put my remote ID chip too. Not. That's never seen one of these, that's for sure. It's gonna suck when that's completely a thing. All right, so we got standoffs on here, little baby ones, just enough to go right above the carbon when I go. Okay, so now we have the ESC on there, and you see the little gap? Yeah, it's a little gap with the standoffs. Cool. Motor time. I have a specific screw for these motors too, and I think it's these. We'll find out real quick. It's another cap screw. I think it's this. Actually, no, that seems way too long. You have to be very, Jesus. You have to be very careful when putting in screws to your motors, especially if it's your first time or you're new to building quads. If that screw touches the motor wires, you're gonna fry your motor. You don't wanna fry anything, that's for sure. Dude, it is a small, is it one of these? What are these? No. What are these? M3 10 millimeter. Sounds like it's probably the right screw. That's not it. That's some random little standoff that's stuck in there. I think this is too long also. I need a smaller screw. See, this is why I just hate building. I mean, I have everything, but I hate it. Check this out. I have a box over here somewhere. It's got all the screws. That miscellaneous screw box, it's always good to have one of those. It's definitely probably one of these. Oh yeah, there we go. Definitely in the miscellaneous box. These fit perfect. Line up on there. Come on, guy. What are you doing? Come on. There you go. Don't be a noob at this, little motor. You know how to do it. Wait, that's not gonna work. There we go. That should be pretty good. Now, I'm just lightly putting these down because I'm just gonna solder everything up. And then when I get to the end, hey, Revs416, thank you very much for that donation. when I get everything pretty much done, I'll back those out. I'll put a little drop of the blue Loctite, the Loctite you could, not the permanent one, it's like the temporary one or whatever. I'll tighten all those down and it should be good. But just don't want to do it now. I've been known to mess up. Jesus, that guy's going for it. I've been known to mess up my wiring sometimes, like my length when I'm cutting these. It's not like perfect, and I switch it to another side, so like it has length on the other side. I don't know. Where's my little clippers? I got a question. How does everybody cut their motor wires? Do they use the little snips? And then do you pop it off the silicone section with your fingers? Do you use strippers? Yeah. What do you guys use? You build armored cars? Is that what that thing said? Okay, chat. Or you? I build armored cars, and I'm in electrical. Nice, man. That sounds fun. What kind of armored cars do you build? These blue handle snips or these blue handle snips? I don't know if you could see those. Both are fairly low. See, I know there's a lot of a lot of people do things a lot of different ways. Some people use snips, oh, X-Acto knife. We got an X-Acto knife guy in here. See, some people go like this, they cut it, and then they just take their fingernail and they go, eh. And then they go, oh, it's not long enough. And then they go, eh, a little bit more. I personally like to snip it and then use my stripper and strip some off. I don't know. But do you tip your strippers? Always, bro. Always. Department of State. I don't know what your previous thing was, so. Who uses teeth? That's pretty funny. I hate when the chat thing disappears. Alright, see, this is where I get anal about my wires. This is what I was talking about. I always solder them up, and it takes me twice as long to build everything, but if it doesn't fall just right when I do this little deal here. So these two could be a little bit shorter. Let me see if I could show you what I'm talking about. Because if I were to tape this down, let me show you. Okay, so do you see how when I hold this down, it kind of comes into like a curve here? I don't really like the wires to be really tight right there. I like to have them have a little bit of like, a little bit of some room to have some play. Because if they're too tight, I just feel like that's just too much stress on the wire and everything. And I don't like that. So I'm just gonna trim these up just a little bit. And I don't know, I do this every time. I know there's probably a quicker way to do it. This is just my way, and I need to feel like they are on here at just the perfect length that I want them on here, or I'm not gonna be happy with it. And it's just gonna be one of those things, like when I'm flying, it's just like a mental thing that I'm not gonna like. So I put it on. I just need just a little tip of this off of here. And it'll be perfect. What was that? But yeah, I need these things to be just right the first time I go to fly this thing. I don't want to be thinking about that. So now I feel a little bit better about these when I do this. I think these things matter though, I'm telling you. You don't set your quads up right the first time. Don't come crying to me if you have issues that you can't figure out. Going, you know what, I've tried every PID, doing everything, and it's still going crazy on me. I'm still burning ESCs up. I don't know what's going on. Well, let me tell you, bro, set it up right the first time, you won't have that problem. Just make sure it's all good. That goes to say with everything, setting up a machine over there, doing that right the first time so you don't break one of your tooling bits or welding or any of that stuff. You just take your time. Everyone's in a rush these days. Instant gratification bullshit. Just take your time with it. Alright, so this is where I want it to be on here. So now when I run these wires, you can see if I lay them flat, you got just enough slack right there going into there. That's where you want it to be. If you look too, you want to have it, I don't even know, this is just the iPhone. You want to have your solder has to be like good too. If you don't have, it's hard to show on there, but if you don't have a good solder joint, proper solder ball of where it's soldered onto the ESC from your motor wires or anything in that matter, you're gonna have issues. So make sure your shit's right. Save you a lot of time. Now for the tape that everybody always asks me about. What is that green tape you use? It is green ultraviolet, UV green, or fluorescent, or whatever you call it. You could use a UV light on it. It's fluorescent gaffer's tape. It's very light. It's lighter than electrical tape. It holds on just as good. And I could see my quad. I know it's my quad because it's got the green tape on it. I won't lose it as much. But it holds on really, really good. I like it way better than the electrical tape. I like how light and thin it is. But yeah, you could go like on Amazon and just look up fluorescent gaffer's tape. Get the right width you want. I believe this is 1 inch. All right, got my first set of motor wires dialed in here. Boom. Tucked in all nice. All right, motor number 1 is done. How many of you guys have been smashing on Warzone? That game's so fun. It reminds me of the movie The Hunger Games. I really like that movie. Dude. This has been so annoying. So, these holes for these motors are kind of like, they could be a little bit better. It's causing the motor not to line up that great to the screw. They could be cut a little bit better on that part, to be honest. Ooh, talking about that solder. That solder life. Yeah, I don't remember what percentage that was. I think it's like 60-40 or something. I don't know, I've had it forever. I feel like one roll. Use enough heat and don't heat it up too much, is that what you said? Yeah, you never want to heat anything up too much. You don't want to heat it up not enough either. I don't know what I got mine at. Mine's set at 450. Seems to be enough for solder and everything I've been using. I don't know. I had it set up like that. I've never used it. If you what? Huh? If you don't do it for a living, just stash it away in your toolbox. Just stash it. Alright, motor wires. Okay, let's see. I kind of know how much I want to trim off this time around. Let's see if I get it right. Kind of similar to the other one. Do I have any stacks laying around? I don't really have stacks laying around. I got FCs. I have FCs laying around. I have a box full of FCs that were either sent to me or something to test out, and I used them and I didn't like them or whatever, and I just took them off. But ESCs, not so much. How much was it for the 6-inch arms? Shoot, I can't remember. 40 bucks, maybe, to get them cut? Could be wrong. I want to say it was like 40 bucks. I think that was the price of getting 6-inch arms cut. I don't know why they just don't offer 6-inch arms. I mean, actually I do. Nobody really flies 6-inch that much. It's kind of it's a niche inside of a niche hobby because everything is so geared to 5-inch. Just a little bit too much here. Come on. There we go. Let's see here. I feel like this one should be a little bit better. There we go. Stick that out there. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, I feel like 6-inch has gotten a lot easier to tune. It used to be so hard to tune. I think that's why a lot of people gave up on it. Like I said, the hobby, everybody is just so much of it is geared to 5-inch stuff that even like when the people develop the firmware and everything for the flight controllers, it's always off of a 5-inch setup or something like that. But once you kind of figure out a tune for a 6-inch setup, like how it reacts and everything, it's quite easy. It's very similar to a 5-inch. It's not too bad. Okay, we got 2 motors on. One thing also, I don't know, some people build, I don't put the standoffs on right away. Mainly because they get in the way when I'm soldering. I don't know, some people put them on first thing. Is that a General 5-star moped? That's a good eye. That is actually a laser. That's the like OG, like I think it's Taiwanese or whatever. That's that version of the General 5-star. When they brought it over here to the United States, it got taken over by General 5-star over here. They branded it as that. But yeah, that version is the laser. The laser. I love that thing. It's a quick little guy too. I know you're in here. You're a little too long. You're just right. Alright, almost done with these. Ooh, you assume I'm going 6S. That's correct. 6S for sure. Another thing with 6-inch quads is where I live, it suits my environment because I don't live by a bunch of downtown buildings or anything. There's nothing really over here for me to dive. None of those like really popular things to do in a sense, but there's a lot of open terrain, and flying a 6-inch just really low or just out into the distance on open terrain, it's a little more efficient and everything, having the bigger prop to where it's better for my environment. Like it's a lot more fun to have a 6-inch quad out here than it is flying a 5-inch quad, I feel like. Not saying there's nowhere to do like freestyle stuff out here. I mean, you could freestyle anything, anywhere. But it just doesn't have that like urban environment. Out here it's like, I don't know, just hills and there's wineries and kind of more deserty landscape. It's not very suited for some of that other stuff. I don't know what Rat just posted. It says message rejected. I don't even know how you do that. You just unlocked a new level, my dude. You got your message rejected. But yeah, if I go down like where Tommy's at, he's a little bit more towards like the city. And he's got some stuff to dive over there. But yeah, over here, nothing really. But this is why you have all the motocross and off-road guys and everything. They can just all shred in the hills and rip around, and it's totally fun for them. Am I missing a motor? Nope, it's right here. Dude. I put this screw back in. I could tell this one had a hard crash. This screw's kind of bent. That was in a motor before. That's pretty funny. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. Am I only using 2 screws to save weight? I guess so. I don't think I need more than 2 screws. Plus, if something happens and one gets stripped out, I have 2 more I could use. Guess it saves weight. I am using steel screws. I don't know. I just used 2. I just preferred it that way for a while now. I do like kind of saving weight in a sense, since 6-inch quads are pretty big. They're thick, boys. Dude, after I build these things, I have such a mess on these tables, always. Just little snippings everywhere. All them snippings. Them snippings be flying. But yeah, once I kind of get like my sizing down on these wires, I kind of know where I want them. This is the Hobbywing 60 amp ESC. G'day, mate. Yeah, the Hobbywing one's like the best one I've liked so far. Alright. Cool. Alright, we got the motors hooked up. These look super nice. Super nice on here, dude. Oh my god. So nice. Why do those motors look so nice on there? Alright, so that's pretty much how we be looking. Can I get a higher? That bandwagon. Dude, big prop stuff's pretty fun. Is that a whole Hobbywing stack? No, it's not. I am using the Brain FPV deal. Here it is. I'm using one of these Radix, I don't know how you say it, Radix, I think. Flight controllers. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to pin this thing up. I think I used one of the other ones last time from the, so I'm not using the, so this is the one that comes with the flight controller. It's got open pins and you could like pin it yourself. I think I just used this one, or no. I used this one from the Hobbywing stack, and I took out those last two pins. I think I remember because it's like ground and like some voltage or something that doesn't even work. It's like pointless to have it. So I just lifted the pins up that hold in the little connector piece, and I pulled out the wires, because when I remember reading the pin out like schematic little thing they gave you for it, and these didn't do anything, and I thought it was pretty pointless. Maybe they do something I don't know about. I mean, obviously they're here for a reason, or maybe it works with their stack or something. But I remember for this setup, it wasn't gonna be used for anything. So toodaloo, motherfucker. Yeah, because this guy went in here, and I went like right to there. Now when it comes to wires, I twist everything up. Like I twist up all the wires. It's supposed to help with like electrical interference or something like that. I ain't no rocket scientist, but I do watch a lot of YouTube videos, and people say to do that. I learn all my things off of YouTube videos. twist all them wires. All right, so here's the deal. I've been on for 95 minutes. When I hit 100 minutes, I think I'm gonna end this and I'm gonna do a part 2 tomorrow. How does that sound? Does that sound good for you guys? And I'm only saying that because it takes me forever to build these freaking things. Okay, where's that deal again with the thingy things? Okay, this guy goes on here. You know, one thing I thought was interesting was with this stack, it had the little gummies or Jello things. They're like a spacer within themselves. So I just ran those little top, I don't know what they're, little nuts or something. Somebody just had a comment about this TBS GPS. What was it? Ooh, definitely not feeling rushed. I'm telling you, it takes me forever to get these things. I didn't have good luck with the TBS GPU and it takes way too long to lock. Okay, so on this one that I built, the first time I set up the GPS took way too long to lock for sure. For some reason, after I used it a few times, it locks really quick now, and it's not bad. It ain't that bad. I'm not gonna really hook up this FC yet because I have so many other wires I still need to solder up. This thing's looking pretty good so far though. Nice little clean stack and everything. I'm liking the way this is looking. Yes, yes. Very nice. I gotta set up. This guy's gonna run up here. Ooh, I forgot to grab an antenna. Those aren't antennas. Those are SMAs, and those are right hand. These are what I want. I want them lefties. I want that lefty. Yeah, pretty much all my setups are, you could basically run long range with them, for the most part. But they're just like everything setups. Do I still work out? No. I mean, I've just started working out again, but I do so much work around here that my like upper body and arms stay okay. My legs are pretty decent, but I need to get rid of that gut. I've been working out that 12-ounce curl. Do you have the capacitor on before the battery? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna hit 100 minutes here. And I said I'd stop building this. Let me just answer some of these all the questions that I missed because I'm looking down at building this thing. I'll just do that right now. Let me turn off my soldering iron so it doesn't stay frying. Okay, some questions. Do you make cafe racers? Yes. I have one that I'm working on up there, and there's a maroon one right there. Make it do the beeps. Okay. Make it do the beeps. When I program it, I guess you could just leave the beeps on. Cool, that's it. All right, awesome. That wasn't too hard. Wait, what? Steele or Camden? I don't know. How's the kiddos? Kiddos are great. Oh, Drew's last name's Camden. I was thinking, I'm like, who's Camden? I was thinking that was some chick at first. I was like, what? What do you guys know that I don't know? It's a 6S rig. How's the business going? Business is up 100% because of this whole thing, I think. That's just my theory. I'm getting in more orders and everything than I could possibly even handle, that my suppliers can handle sending me material and everything. I think everybody got their stimulus checks and they're sitting at home and they want to build their bikes and they need parts for it. And I've been getting a lot of orders to build a lot of things. See all the, like, it keeps, okay, if you look when the camera changes, see all the popcorn and the mess from packaging and everything over there? That's because I've just been getting reckless with packaging. Not reckless, but like packaging stuff quickly, getting orders out, everything. It's been pretty intense. I haven't been able to be all neat and tidy in my packaging station until the end of the day when I do my cleaning. Do the battery leads. Favorite cafe racer to build. Anything actually I can make look cool is what I like to build. Doesn't have to be super specific. I'm glad you chuckled when you figured out what I meant. Yeah, it did take me a second. Battery leads. So this capacitor, for the guy that was asking, it already comes soldered on there. I'm not gonna take the time to like solder it off, so I'm just gonna put the leads on there myself in the next video. So yeah. Who do I really favor? I mean, I only really know Steel, so I'm always gonna favor Steel. He's my homie, obviously. Drew, I've only actually met Drew once, and it was like, I guess whatever. I just don't watch his videos. Yeah, I'm not subscribed to the guy, nothing. I'm not really subscribed to really anything. I watch the most random stuff on YouTube, period. You should get into electric bike conversions. I don't really know if that's my niche. I'm sure I could do it. I don't know if I want to do it. But yeah, electric bikes are cool. I really like electric bikes. The like power, like the torque off of them is just amazing. I don't use Tattoo batteries. I use China Hobby Line batteries, specifically these right now. These are awesome. Oh, 102 minutes. That's kind of awesome. I've never seen that before. Yeah. Okay. Anything else I could think of? Not really. How can you maintain the FPV hobby with a family? I tried for about 2 years, but my third kid, I just saw a third kid, that might be the issue. Just kidding. Put me over the edge for most hobbies. I think everybody needs to have a hobby in general. Everybody has to do something that they like, whether it's your wife, whether it's you, ends up being your kids are gonna get into some sort of hobby sport, something that they like, and everybody needs to have their own personal time to get away and do things. That's how I try my hardest to manage everything. Nothing's ever really perfect with any of that stuff, but I do feel that like the time you need to get away and go out and fly, you need that time, and the person that you're with needs to respect that you need that time, but don't get carried away with it. Like, if you know you should probably be home, say by 6 to spend time with your family, sit down and have dinner and have those like memories for your kids and everything and like whatever, then you should be home by 6 unless there's some other circumstance. Just don't make it a thing all the time. Obviously you could do it sometimes, but just don't make it a common thing. Don't try to ever take advantage of everything, but respect each other's space. If your wife wants to go somewhere when you get back from flying, let her go and watch the kids. It's gotta be mutual. That's my advice on that. That's the best I could come up with, at least. So far it's sort of worked. Sometimes they're just in a mood, man. I get in those moods, I guess, sometimes too. But yeah, that was actually a good question. Those are good questions. Makes me think a little bit. I like thinking. Check that out. No standoffs. Ooh, saving weight. But yeah, what else we got on here? I know I missed something. Moon boots, yes. Those are moon boots. Yeah, it was good seeing you too. It's been fun seeing you on the tube again. I know I need to get back on here. That's for sure. And let's see. This one is my favorite 6S motors, my moon boots. I really, really like these motors. Like, I can't express that enough. I said that earlier too. I haven't even thought about making a V2 yet, just because I like these. The frame I'm using, this is the Source 1 frame. I just got 6-inch arms cut for it, so that way I could use this frame. So you can see the arms, the carbon is different from that one. So, but yeah, is there any other videos that you guys would like to see from me? I got all kinds of things I could do. I just need to make videos doing them. I really like these live streams. That's probably really loud when I'm doing that. Bike-related content. I know, I need to do bike-related content. I say that all the time. Down here, I will show you exactly what I'm working with. Not those, not those. They're in here. There you go. All right. Yeah, guys haven't seen them. These are the K2 props. And yeah, I like them. They're a 4.5. Little bit aggressive profile coming in, but the main thing is, I'll show you guys. It's the stiffness from here to here that really makes a difference on these. A lot of stiffness in the hub. It's a little bit thicker in the hub area. That really made the difference when working with these and figuring out how to make a smooth bi-blade again that's not super vibey and it's still really efficient. Yeah, everyone that I get messages on those props and everything, that's what I'm running. Simple answer. Live flying. Yeah, I want to do some live flying again. I just don't know where to. I just moved over here too to this shop not that long ago. I don't really have too many spots besides like just going to the hill at the top of the street. Everywhere else is pretty much ran by people. What big machines have you got? I don't really have like that big of machines. I mean, I got Bridgeport Mill, Logan lathe. It's like a 9-inch lathe of a sling. I have like my plan machine hammer, English wheel, shrinker stretcher on this side. You can't see it. I don't know, whatever that is, 50-ton press or something, and I got another drill press. Nothing really. You don't really need big machines to do a lot of stuff. I'm not doing any like, you know, big aerospace production or anything like that. So, yeah, I don't need anything too crazy. But that's what I run over here. Mostly the lathe. I think the lathe is the one I run the most. You can make everything with a lathe, I feel like. Actually, they say the lathe is the only machine that could build itself. That's an interesting one, right? Did I miss any more comments? Change from tri-blades to bi-blades. That sounds like a good idea. You're pretty smart for doing that. What do you think about that DJI? Yeah, whatever. Honestly, my favorite DJI right now is the Mini, the little tiny one. That's my favorite one. Um, Cafe bike breakdowns. Yeah, I could probably do that. 3D printers are better though. I got a 3D printer too. I just actually finished working on it. I put on one of these for you 3D printer geeks. It is a Micro Swiss direct drive extruder. I gotta say, this is probably the nicest piece of anything that's on a 3D printer that I've seen right now. It's like this machined aluminum part with a hot end, and it's dope. I took off all this crap, all the junk, put that on there. Yeah, someone was asking something about that over there. What was it? 3D printers are better. You must be proud of yourself. I would be in your boots. I'm always proud. You know what I'm always kind of proud of is the fact that every month when I look back at things, I'm like, hey, I was able to just do random things I like doing and provide for things, if that makes sense. It's not like you're not a millionaire, you're not like crushing it at something or whatever, but I'm like stoked that I'm like, hey, I could be going live with you guys and I could stop doing that, build some stuff over here, ship some things out, work on things I like, and just be creative. I like being creative with things, just in general, whatever it is. And I see that a lot with my kids already too, that it's just, they like being creative, and it's nice. It's nice to be able to be creative and do what you like to do, editing videos, making videos, going out and filming, doing stuff, creating things here, and building things I like to do, and be able to make somewhat of a living doing it. I think everyone could do that though, to be honest. See, Lewis, I don't think you have to be stuck at a job you hate though. I really don't. Because I've had some jobs that I hated that obviously I'm not stuck at them anymore. And you can make it still. Sometimes it's a little rough, don't get me wrong. But I think everybody can make it. It's how you handle the rough portion of it. I think that's how you make it actually. That's the make or break. If you can't handle the rough portion of it and it just goes to shit and you can't handle that, then you're in trouble. Yeah, I think that's it. Exactly. Take pride in the things that you do. Because not everything's gonna like do well. I've tried things like, dude, trust me, I've tried things and they did not work out, and I just stopped doing them, and I just moved on to another thing I had an idea of doing, and like started doing that, and then those ones work. Like every month I pull in like a little cash from probably like, I don't know, 4 different things or something like that. It's not 100% all like, say, you know, building some bike parts or something. It's like just diversify yourself in a sense, and you could pull in money from all these little things. If one thing's not working, if say like, you know, quads are slow this month, pull a little from over here, and everything. But you have to just be constantly be doing. Once you like kind of just stop doing anything, then that's an issue, I think. I think that happens with a lot of people. Also, say they lose their jobs or something and they just sit at home and they're like, oh, fuck, I lost my job, and they're just sitting on the couch and they're not doing anything, when it's like they could physically, mentally, and they're smart enough to do literally anything. And you could totally like find a way to make money doing something. Especially now, you have so many ways to sell stuff just with having a phone in your pocket. You can reach out to people and make money. So many people that are on, you know, Instagram and stuff like that, like you could do something that's very specific. People like it. You have that small percentage of people that like it, and you could sell to that small percentage of people something that they like. A lot of things with a lot of people now is literally the fact that like people don't know how to do a trade or make things, or like everybody just buys things now. Everything's made and just bought. So if you have something you like to do and you teach yourself how to do it and take the time and you do it well, then you will have something someone will buy from you. And that's like a given to me. Is I know that for a fact that like even this quad, I could build this thing and I could be building it for you guys right now because I really like doing this stuff. I don't really like building. I like flying, but I'm gonna fly this thing. But just for sake of building these, I could build this. I could make a cool video for you guys. You guys will like it. I could go, hey, this is for sale, and somebody that doesn't want to build this will buy it off of me because that's just how things are now. A lot of people don't want to build things. People don't want to use their hands or be creative with things. But yeah, there's that guy that'll build it for you, and you can buy it from him. The worst. Wait, what? That sounded like a good question. Oh, I missed a lot. I was going into one of my little rants there. I watched Brian Rose London Real. No, I don't know that guy. I gotta look that up. Howdy, my friend. Howdy. The worst is think your employer owes you a living. Yeah, you don't want to. What do they call that? Golden handcuffs or something, where it's like people think that they've kind of like dug themselves into a hole with all the things they've bought and everything, and they're stuck at a job because they need to make money to pay off all those things. When in reality, it's like you could probably sell a lot of that stuff. You don't need like any of those things really. I mean, it would be easier to sell all that stuff off, pay off a lot of the things you owe, than owe less, and then be comfortable doing something you like to do that makes just enough money to where you could slowly pay those things off if you are in a really deep hole, but at least you're doing something you like and you don't feel like you're stuck at like some 9 to 5 or something like that. Just try not to dig that deep of a hole. Yeah. This has gone on a completely different topic than just building quads. This is funny. It's the fun thing about live streams, I guess. I mean, it's nice, like, I mean, even when I look at like steel and stuff, it's nice that like he's another person I could look at that's like, hey, like, you know, today I want to go do this. He goes and does it because he's just comfortable where he's at, and you know, he obviously people see him and they're like, oh, well, he's bought this and he has this. Well, like, you know, either he's saved up money for that or he's sold things to get to that point or whatever it is. So yeah, make your 6-inch arms available for Source One. Somebody made these. Like, these aren't my 6-inch arms. I can't think of the company that makes it now, but they made these arms. I'll figure it out and I'll let you guys know tomorrow when I keep building this thing. But yeah, they're the ones that made these. I can't think of the name. I'll figure it out though. You could have finished the build by now. Probably not. See, mentally not there on the build. That's the thing. I mentally quit myself on this build at that point. I would have just been rushing it after that. But cool. All right. Any other questions we could save for tomorrow? I'm not getting read. Huh? What? Guillermo, are you asking me some stuff and I'm missing it? Guillermo, where are ya? Where are ya? That black building map from. That's what you wanted to tell me? It's a quick thing to build it, but longer to build it perfect. Yes, sir. Cool. All right, my dudes. Well, until tomorrow, we will finish this guy. I'm gonna leave everything right here. And then that's it. Bike build video. I'll have to do that soon. Podcast should be coming up. I think it's gonna be a codcast because we're gonna be playing Call of Duty, I think, on the next one. Yeah. If you wanna play with me, I don't remember my name on it. It's Conasty, but there's some numbers after that. I don't remember those. Yeah, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. And we're not done because I forgot how to end these things. I think it's this one.